I want to compliment the entire police department and the new unit, especially the TNT unit, headed up by order or request some 4 weeks ago, to have the exact impact and results that we're seeing here today. That was to have an impact on the streets in the city of Bridgeport, to take guns off the streets of the city of Bridgeport, all revolving around, as you can see, the possession, and I guess the charges include the distribution of illegal substances, most notably here marijuana and steroid. But I think the most dramatic impact is what's behind us, and to a certain extent what's in front of us, with the ammunition and this cadre of weapons, of some 23 weapons, which by and I know Sergeant Paris and the officers have been on the force a long time, and the captain's been on the force for how many years?
32.
32 years. We're both trying to remember the last time these many weapons were taken in one swoop, or in any number, and I couldn't remember. I don't know if any of the officers can, but the captain couldn't. So this has got to be one of the largest single arrest results that anybody can remember. And again, this is a byproduct, or a product of all of us working together: the police department, the administration, other law enforcement units, including state police, including federal law enforcement, to make not just a statement. This isn't about policy. This is about action. This is about whether you're talking about directives and initiatives from Washington or from state capitals. It's really action on a local level where the rubber hits the road. These officers, in executing this and their day-to-day activities, risk so many things, including their own safety and welfare, as you can see. I mean, I had to think when I got the notice from about the results of this. You had to think, okay, these guys go in. Okay, we sit here and we look at the results. You took 23 weapons off the street that could have ended up anywhere as part of the commission of one or more crimes, or threats, or whatever. I guess a threat would be a crime as well. But when they walk in, I don't care whether you got a warrant in your hand or not. That doesn't prevent somebody from putting your life at risk at that moment.
Absolutely. And
anybody being challenged, knowing they're going to be in cuffs in a few minutes with this type of battery of weapons, I compliment the department for their hard work and for their bravery. Look, the flip side of that, as I started, is as much as I'm praising the officers appropriately, as we should, for their hard work, it rings the bell. This stuff is out there. This is out there in our neighborhoods, in our streets, as it is in every community. And we see it all over the country, and we need more. We need to do more of this, and this will continue in Bridgeport. We've ramped it up, as you could see today, in just a short 4 weeks of this new task force. As Dan might remember, it goes like the old TNT unit. Really, that was the concept that was so successful. We had a dedicated team of experienced officers that were just focused on this type, in addition to everything else. And I know we can go back into discussions about how many officers we don't have and all that kind of stuff. But at bottom, to be able to have this kind of impact really can make a difference, and probably save 4, 5, 6, 7 other things that you guys would have to be chasing around on calls and responding to calls. So that's the hope. I know there's going to be particular questions, or there may be, but as far as the weapons go, which in my mind are at bottom, if we had on priorities, what we want to see this city, and I'm sure every community, get rid of is illegal weapons. I mean, you've heard the calls and executive orders from the president. You've heard the policies and the laws in Hartford. We need every effort to get these off. The weapons, I know, are being reviewed by ATF.
Correct.
So that they can appropriately look at what may be appropriate charges on this type of weapons, and how they may or not have been used, if there's histories to them, what their intentions were. I don't know that we'll get into that type of detail. But this amount of weapons, with this amount of ammunition, with this menu of illegal substances is the ingredients for a bad result. And I just again want to compliment what we don't even know what activities you could have stopped in the city of Bridgeport. I want to compliment this the team. Captain, I don't know if you wanted to say anything before we get into some questions.
Sure. I just want to thank you for giving us the opportunity, Mr. Mayor, to make a difference in the city of Bridgeport. You know, we take your mandate very seriously. We have put a terrific task force together, a number of experienced officers, the best of the very best. I have taken detectives, experienced detectives, Lieutenant LeMaine here, who is the best homicide investigator in the city of Bridgeport. I have Sergeant Andrews, and a number of other detectives who don't want to be named, but because they do undercover stuff, you know, and you gotta give them that respect. But we're putting this whole thing together because we want to make a difference. We want to make sure that at some point this year, you can look back and say, geez, last year we had 109 people shot in the city of Bridgeport, and I don't have that many. I hope that I have way less than that, maybe half, if that, this year. It is totally unacceptable to have 19 homicides in the city of Bridgeport. We will not stand for that, and this is why this unit, these guys are all dedicated. These guys are the best of the best. I have the gang task force. I have the Connecticut State Police. I have the officers from the FBI task force, as well as FBI officers that are going to be working with us. We have other municipalities, Stratford, Fairfield, Trumbull, and why? Because it affects them. All of this affects everybody, and we're going to work together to make a safer city for the good people that live in the city of Bridgeport. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks. Chuck's been a leader in the department as president of the union. I don't know if you want to add a couple of words, Chuck.
Thank you, sir. I also want to say thank you to the mayor and his staff for helping Captain Perez and Lieutenant LeMaine to put this together. This shows what our officers can do when we get the opportunity to do the work. This is just probably a small portion of what's really out there, but I am very confident, and I'm sure the mayor is also, that Captain Perez and his staff, his group of men and women who work every day looking at this type of information and going out there and getting the bad guys and getting the drugs and the guns off the street. It's a tremendous job by our officers, and we're very proud of what the work they do.
Thanks, Chuck. You know, I just want to make a slightly different point on this so that we have a perspective, I think, of what we're trying to do as well. And this is this hard work. This is one of the most important things. But I will tell you, along with Dr. Stallworth, who we work closely together, as you know, in the mayor's office. He wears a number of hats and be a state representative and minister. But we've been meeting almost weekly with young people in the city of Bridgeport from around the city, following a call, a request for a youth summit centered around violence in the city, following I think the most recent homicide that happened on Christmas Eve. Many of you are aware of that.
Thank you. First, I want to thank the mayor for his leadership, his visionary leadership, and for these officers who do, such a great work. As the mayor has said, a lot of bad things could happen as a result of what we see today. And as the mayor has said, the other side are the conversations that are taking place. And each week, without the fanfare, the mayor's inviting youth into his office to have conversation. And as they often talk about how easy it is to get their hand on a gun is apparent here today. I believe what the mayor is doing with the youth will give them an opportunity to have some conversation. So this is like a twofold approach. And so I want to thank you and commend you for your leadership.
Thank you.